The pandemic has sped up the shift to a digital economy with technology driving major changes to how we work. Here to discuss some interesting findings from a report around future jobs is career coach and author Fleur Hull. Fleur, welcome to Ticker. How are you today?
Hi, Adrian. Great, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Where are you based at the moment?
I'm in Perth.
Okay,
So
Perth.
we've got reasonably
Lucky you.
relaxed restrictions here.
It's just normal life over there, isn't it? We're in Melbourne. So you guys are just living it like you usually would.
Yeah, with, I think, hopefully a little bit of care and concern for the possibility that something might sneak through.
Sure.
I hope lots of people are not taking it for granted, but certainly we're very fortunate to not have the restrictions of some of our fellow Australians around the country.
Yeah, no, it is good to speak to people around Australia. We're in Melbourne, and obviously life is different for us, but at least we know that there are areas of Australia which are going well. So we appreciate that. So I'm glad to speak to you today. Anyway, let's get stuck into this report. I think it was a recent report from the National Skills Commission, which showed that data scientists and a whole bunch of other jobs are the future, or they're predicting that they will be in high demand. So tell us a bit more about this. This is quite interesting.
It is. It's a recent report that's come out of the National Skills Commission, and they've taken data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, along with some work from Boston-based Burning Glass Technologies, and they've used these data to find out and form some predictions of 25 top career areas or job titles that will be in demand as the pandemic lifts and economies recover around the world. They're grouped into a number of categories. The first one is digital technologies. So people like social media specialists and digital technology experts are going to be in demand, as you'd expect, I guess, given the move to online.
Yeah.
Data analytics is another key area that they've identified. So people who are data scientists, data visualization technicians, data engineers, all of that side of things across a whole range of industries, those people will be in demand.
Yep.
Business transformation experts is another area which I guess is reasonably predictable given the way businesses have had to adapt to the pandemic. So people, for example, like agile coaches and logistics specialists have been identified as job types that may surge in the future.
Yeah, great. Do you know where does this information? Oh, sorry to cut you off. Where does this information go now? Does it go towards sort of government agencies? Is there a process that you're aware of? We now have this information. What happens next?
Yes, so the National Skills Commission actually is a government agency. It's part of the employment portfolio. And from what I understand, that the minister is aware of these data and is hopefully, I think, feeding them into their planning and policy proposals. Obviously, the thing that we want to do as a nation is find ways for our people to skill themselves in these areas, given that there's going to be so many people unemployed. They're predicting 13% by the end of the year. So hopefully, the government will be working to feed these data into their planning of course availability across universities and TAFE. And people themselves will hopefully be picking up on these job areas and choosing to get further training to increase their chances of getting a job.
Yeah, can we go a bit deeper on that? What do you think can be done or should be done, to prepare people? We know these jobs are going to be the jobs of the future. What can be done to get them ready for these jobs so they can, really step into them?
I think there's two sides to that. There's obviously the skilling in the areas that are required from the economy. So there's a whole range of courses that the federal government has subsidised now in universities, short courses. And so choosing courses where there's going to be an outcome of, more likely employment at the end, I think is a good way to look. There's also a number of free or low cost providers who are offering short courses. There's also the soft skills or the generic skills development, which is really important. So one of the things that we've all had to learn to deal with and build is the idea of resilience during this pandemic. And I think employers more and more are going to be looking for people who can bounce back when tough times hit and work well, communicate well with their peers and colleagues.
So do you have any advice, I guess, if someone was out there who's unemployed or underemployed and just, looking towards the future, do you have any sort of thoughts in terms of the research that you have of what they can do now moving forward? Should they be placed in any particular area?
Yeah, part of the research and preparation for writing the Career After COVID book was looking at the sorts of things that job seekers can do to prepare themselves.
Yep.
I think LinkedIn is a major opportunity and one that's often overlooked. So really fleshing out your LinkedIn profile, using the tool, getting on there, linking up with people, and also, if you can, doing some of the courses that are on LinkedIn. I think it's a great opportunity. There's a whole lot of private providers out there online, but LinkedIn allows you to get certified on your profile, and I think that means you can be found more easily by potential employers. So getting skills and really connecting, building your networks during this time of downturn so that you're ready to take hold of those opportunities as things recover.
Yeah, that's good advice. And you mentioned your book there. So I think the book's being released soon. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but Career After COVID. I mean, firstly, you've done that pretty quickly, haven't you? Like, it's only been 5 or 6 months. You must have started on day one of the pandemic.
It started as a podcast. So a former colleague of mine, Kim Kraljevic, and I, we lost our jobs the same day in March, and we were commiserating and counselling and helping each other. And I said, hey, why don't we record this and turn it into a podcast? Maybe someone else can benefit.
Yep.
And in the process of doing that podcast, we realised from audience feedback that people were looking for a resource, I guess, that would clarify and distill what we'd been talking about on the podcast. So that was the germination of the idea. But yes, it's been a very quick turnaround to get the book off to the editors.
So just a brief note on what can we look forward to with that book, Career After COVID, and when is the release date? Do you know that?
November it'll be out. So it's just got to go through the editing and typesetting and proofing, all of that. It's about getting your mindset in the right place. So recognising that these have been tough times. It uses data and research that's current, because there's a lot of career resources out there, but this one is really about the strange circumstances that we find ourselves in during the pandemic. So helping you, to find ways to improve your employability, and also for people who are thinking about maybe starting their own business instead of going back into the workforce. There's some tips there as well.
Awesome. So where's the best place to go online to sort of find out what you're up to moving forward?
Yeah, we've got a website, careeraftercovid.com, and we're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook as Career Rockstars. So you can click through to our profile there, join our support group and chat with other people who are reassessing where they're at in their career during the pandemic.
Awesome. Really appreciate your time. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Adrian.